able to completely surround them perfectly, and I don't think BeSt had time to react. By the time he saw that, he was already surrounded. You know, which says maybe BeSt was a little slow on the reaction time for that, but that was very well done. It's not like he's going to be able to run into the base at this point, or Type B is going to be able to run into BeSt's base or anything. BeSt is getting an extra cannon just in case, though, and he is getting Archons. Now, once again, he doesn't know if there's going to be some Mutalisks going on, Mutalist builds. As I said before, I don't expect to see that. We are going to see a lot of Hydralisks coming out. They are going to be able to counter the Corsairs pretty well. And I'm assuming we will transition into Lurkers fairly quickly here. And I don't know. I mean, we'll see if I mean, because right now the economy is kind of equal. Notice that the top right base has been taken, or the right side expansion base for Type B, so he is now mining off of that as well. And I mean, we may see him try to go for the back mineral. I definitely agree with you. You really shouldn't expand too far away on this map because there's just too much to go through to get to that base, and it would be way too difficult to defend. Right now, I think it's fairly even. I'm not going to say, oh, possibly about to lose an Overlord. No.
I really question BeSt pushing out here, though, with that force. He has no Templars to support, and he is going to want to get Templars. It looks like he was just trying to push out so that he could expand. He might get an Overlord here. Looks like he's not going to, but this Hydralis force can just pick off those Archons and run BeSt over, so BeSt needs to be careful. He has no Templars. He's going to have to pull back. I really don't think he should commit here. I think he was just trying to put some pressure on Type B, but he doesn't have those 3 Zealots in that Dragoon that he had earlier, so, you know, you can't play aggressive like this. He's got to sit back in his base and wait for those Templar. For one, you know, he built 2 Archons, and maybe he was expecting Mutalisks because he did force Type B to cancel his expansion early on, so he knew he wasn't going to have, you know, really the extra macro maybe that he wanted to, so he thought, oh, maybe he'll go to Mutalisks, but he hasn't, and we do see 1 Templar. I don't even know if it has enough for a Storm, but that's going to be critical. Hopefully he can just keep Type B, you know, scared enough not to attack, and that would really be a mistake for Type B, but if Type B moves in right now, I don't know if there's enough Zealots to hold it off. It looks like there are a couple Templars, and it looks like he's going towards the expansion now. BeSt is going to have to move his forces, and this is the expansion I was saying that's hard to hold here. It looks like Type B is going to come down with all his Hydras. There are a lot of Zealots, though. All he needs is that 1 Storm. That Storm is critical. If he sees that Templar, it looks like he does see the Templar, and he does get the Storm off. Decent Storm, actually getting quite a few Hydralisks. I think that might be enough to hold off, but he's going to have to get more Zealots down there quick. You know, it really just depends how aggressive Type B wants to be here. If he wants to sit out there, if he really wants to get aggressive and push in. I honestly think he should be pushing in, but the longer BeSt has to enforce this, the better BeSt chances are of winning the game.
Look, and I was just about to say that. I was waiting for Lurkers. He has the upper advantage. He has a little, not a contain yet, but he is keeping BeSt on the run, switching between bases. You see this blue stream going between his bottom expansion and his top expansion. BeSt is having his stream back and forth, all of his units. He has all these Templars, or the Light Templars going back and forth. And I think if we get a kind of a double front attack here, possibly a surround, I mean, I think BeSt can be in trouble here, and we are going to see some Lurkers going to the top position, it looks like. They are going to try to probably cut off the reinforcements here to that bottom base, which is a extremely smart move here. Unfortunately, the cannons are going in. We need to see the cannons take down. We're going to see a counterattack coming in.
Oh, I don't like this at all from BeSt. BeSt does not have his robotics facility up at all. It's maybe halfway right now. There it is, halfway. No observers are going to be out. He does have some cannons to support, but he needs his Templar. If his Templar don't get out there and start storming now, this is going to be the game. I don't care if BeSt tries to counter, because Type B has a ton of time to just sit there and pump out units. It looks like he does get a pretty good surround. He gets 1, doesn't even finish the Lurker. It looks like he's probably going to get those Lurkers, but there's just a ton of Hydras in there. We're going to have to come down to micro here for Type B. Type B is really going to have to pay attention to using those Hydras to just get away from the Templar, but that Templar is going to go down now. So many Hydras in the base of BeSt. This just is not good, and what happened to the army BeSt sent across? I guess he brought it back and that was it, but
what BeSt did is he brought it back and he went right up that canyon that had all those Lurkers and started getting torn up. And I don't know what BeSt can do here. The units are going to keep streaming down now. Type B has not gone for an expansion yet, so he still is at 3 bases. But now BeSt is down to 2 bases. He has lost the advantage. He has Hydralis streaming into his base. Lurkers are going to be, there we go. We got some more Lurkers morphing right there. What Type B is doing is he's taking the Hydralis with the most damage and now morphing them into Lurkers, which is extremely smart. So that way they don't die and he doesn't lose any units. And this is huge, but I think Type B is going to take this game. Look at BeSt.
Yeah, BeSt knows it's over. I mean, you can't get Templar out of the stage because they're not going to have any Storm anyway.
Oh!
There's GG coming from BeSt. BeSt getting knocked out. Silver medalist in the OSL previous, well, it was the 2 OSL, and now getting knocked out by Type B. You can see how excited Type B is. and just outplayed BeSt. BeSt misread him. I think he shouldn't have built Archons. He should have built the Templar, just kept the Templar and kept the Storm. He also pushed out and got overly aggressive after losing his units in the middle. So I think BeSt made poor decision making, and it cost him.
I agree. Type B just blasting off here, looking extremely impressive. He has knocked out, one of the final 3 Protoss players that are going to be in the OSL. And if correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Type B has a huge running. I mean, he out-strategized that entire thing. I mean, you saw where he cut off the supply line between, and that's what we talked about. Both of those expansions are really hard to hold. And BeSt went for it, maybe got a little bit greedy. Instead of going for mineral only, he went to try to get the extra gas. And I think that was a mistake. He spent a lot of minerals on that, did not have the large army to counter. And
well, you can see how much this hurts BeSt. I mean, BeSt really wants to be in this OSL. You know, a lot of people have been saying he's slumping, and he hasn't done a whole lot to, you know, have any accomplishments really to put him up at the top with the other best players. You know, he did make it to second place in the OSL. In the previous OSL, in the Incruit OSL, he made it all the way to the round of 4, but then got knocked out PvP by Stork, who ended up actually winning that OSL.
Right.
So BeSt, you know, he makes it really far on these OSLs, just doesn't get a title. And, you know, as a player, it's really discouraging to be that caliber of player, but to not get a title. So he's, you know, he really wants that title. He's now out of the OSL, has no chance of getting that. It's going to have to wait again until the next OSL.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Type B was extremely impressive against a player like BeSt, and I don't know if Type B has what it takes to go farther, but if he continues that caliber of play and the level of strategy and the level of micro and multi-attacks and just, I mean, it was, I mean, almost flawless as far as that goes. And, you know, maybe I'm being a little bit overboard, but I just was not expecting that much from this kid. Well, we are done casting for today. We did 2 full OSL sets. I hope you guys are happy with that. We are going to try our best to do the next set. If we don't do it midweek, then probably maybe next weekend if we can. Do you have who's in the next set, Steve, offhand?
I do not know. I know we have a couple bigger names. I know we got Stork coming up eventually. I think he's the last set. I'm trying to think who's in the next set. You know, I'm not sure. But anyways, you know, we definitely saw some good games today. We saw who moved on from today. We saw
Quanro.
Quanro moved on.
Quanro moved on. Quanro beat Casey and Gigi play. And I would like to correct myself that Up Magic did play Kanata, and Kanata actually moved on, not Up Magic. So I'll probably correct that on that video as well. I don't know how I missed that. I was misreading TBT.
So a few upsets, but let's not forget the big players that are waiting for these players. Bisu, Hero, Fantasy, and Jadong, all waiting for these players in the round of 16. So only a couple groups left till we make it to that, and it's not looking too good for Protoss, but we still have a couple hopes left. We got Backhoe, Stork, and Shuttle, and that's pretty
and
much
Flash
it. And
is going to be in K. So Group K will have Flash, and Group HIJKL will have Stork. So we'll see if we can get those final round of 36 up for you guys. As always, leave comments, leave any feedback, and thanks for listening.